Hello and welcome back to the Deeper Than Eczema YouTube channel. So happy that you're here tuning in once again. For this month, as mentioned in my previous video, I'm going to be talking about confidence and how we still can be confident and have eczema. So if you are struggling with eczema, then this is the perfect video for you, along with the next two videos which is going to be coming up in this series. My name is Trudy, by the way. I founded Deeper Than Eczema. So as well as this YouTube channel, I also have a blog and a social media platform, Facebook and Instagram, where you can find out more about the blog and myself as well. So I'm going to move on, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about clothing and how the clothing that we have affects eczema and how we can use it to be confident. So when it comes to clothing, I'll just give you a bit of my personal story and a bit of my background. So with clothing, I stick to certain materials such as cotton and silk because it's soft on the skin, whereas rough materials such as nylon tends to irritate me. So does wool if the wool is not direct on my skin, and also wool can obviously cause sweat as well, which also irritates the eczema. So it's about also being mindful about clothing materials that we wear, because certain things like that affects our eczema and also affects our confidence. But I'm just going to talk about a little story actually. So, and it still actually applies today. It's a bit up and down, a bit like a yo-yo at the moment actually. So I mentioned in quite a few videos that on my legs is where my eczema is at its peak basically. And certain times of the year, I get really paranoid and self-conscious about wearing clothing such as skirts and shorts because I'm paranoid and conscious about what other people would say about my skin. Would they make bad comments? I don't look good, I don't feel good. I'm walking down the road on a nice sunny day and, my eczema's exposed and my legs exposed and, the whole wide world can see. And it actually has been quite, sometimes it can feel quite a lot, and it's to the point where I feel a bit anxious and, a bit all over the place, and, I just don't know, whether I feel good within myself and what others think about me. But what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to talk a bit more about what others think about me in my final video. So I'm not going to go into depth about other people and their thoughts because I'm going to be talking about it later. So now it's more or less more about clothes. So obviously it made me anxious, it got me scared, it got me anxious. And I remember actually there was a point in 2014, I think the year was, or around that time anyway, when I managed to get the eczema under control. And I was wearing skirts and things like that. And I remember one day I said to myself, I'm just going to be brave and I'm just going to be bold and I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to wear a skirt, a knee-length skirt. And that was it. So I'm going out. It was just a typical day, actually. Actually, it was a day at work, actually. It was a day when I went to work into the office. So I remember, right, I'm going to be brave. I'm going to put a skirt on and I'm going to go to the office and everything's going to be okay. This is this, just what I told myself. And I remember getting up and, I made my way to the office and, I went through the whole day. And I think because I was busy and I was kind of occupied anyway, that it didn't feel as bad and it wasn't over exaggerating as I thought. I actually felt okay. I actually felt okay going to the office. So after that, I thought to myself, oh, that wasn't so bad then. Yeah, I felt all right. Don't know if maybe, others might have had comments, but just didn't say anything to me. But as I felt okay, I was just like, okay, cool. So I managed the office. So let's try another activity which is not, work related, where I could wear a skirt and just, you know, be okay. And I got into practice. So I did go out to a couple of places where it was just to the shop, where it was just to meet friends, etc. And I was able to do it. I was able to do it. So this made me good because it made me feel confident and positive in myself. And I actually realised, yeah, I can do this. You know, I can, you know, go out in a skirt and wear sandals and, you know, just be okay. So that's my story where I had to basically get over the fear and just do it anyway and just get out there and just, you know, wear the skirt. And yeah, it turned out good. And then after a while, I just kept going, kept going, kept going. Then started not wearing a skirt and then showing my legs because then it got to winter and then it got colder. So obviously wanted to layer up at that point. But then sadly, it got to a couple of years later after that. So it would have been 2016. And I've mentioned in quite a few of my videos what happened to me in 2016. So in 2016, unfortunately, the eczema came back with a vengeance. I was on prednisolone steroid tablets, I think it was, where it calmed down the skin. The skin flaked from head to toe. It went absolutely mad. I lost 2 stone in weight. It was just terrible. It was just a terrible time. So as you can imagine, that literally reduced down my confidence. And, you know, then after that, I moved into accommodation. Then I had to move again because unfortunately the people that I lived with wasn't happy with this condition and I had to move, which is a whole other story. I put that YouTube video into the chat as well, so it's a whole other story itself. So as you can imagine, 2016 was just not a year of confidence for me, within myself, within the eczema, with clothing, anything. So it's like I had it back in 2014, then we got to 2016 and everything just went boom, like that. So unfortunately it came to a point where I had to build that up again and it wasn't easy. So I think it was probably the year after that. No, actually, it would have been 2018. It would have been that year because that was the year I went on a secondment at my workplace, to try out a new area of work and to get away from the office environment where I was working in because that was contributing to the eczema, because of the artificial air. So it would have been 2018, when I started building up the confidence again when it came to clothing. And because around that time I would have been going through the UVB light therapy treatment. So that improved things. So again, I had to build up the confidence of clothing. I had to be brave and just to go out and just wear a skirt and wear a dress up to my knees and not feel that care and bothering the world. And, you know, it worked. It worked, you know. There were sometimes, you know, I did feel a little bit anxious at the back of my head, but it worked at the end of the day, which was good. And it's what, you know, I'm pleased about over time. So moving on forward, because I've spoken a lot about, you know, clothing and confidence, you know, within a 10-year time frame. So just skipping on forward now to 2024. And at the moment, do I feel confident in clothing in eczema? Good question. At the moment, I would say yes. And part of that is because it's winter, it's cold. We, you know, cover up anyway because of the cold, because of the weather. And I'm not really at a point now where I have to walk out and, you know, have to wear skirts and show my skin because, you know, the weather's too hot. It's at the point where we're all laid and we're all covered up. So at the moment, confidence is not too bad. However, because of the cold and the dip in temperature and the central heating and humidity levels, etc., skin hasn't been that particularly great. I've had a few patches. I had an annoying bit of flakiness there on my cheek earlier in the week. Got no idea what that was about, but yeah, that happened. But when it comes to clothing, just moving back to the subject of clothing, I'm absolutely fine to this present day because I know what materials irritate me. I know what's good. I know what's bad. You know, I've got clothing and I've got a wardrobe where I know that despite eczema that I will be okay wearing these clothes. And, you know, I know what suits me. I know what doesn't suit me. So I think just to round things up to the present day, I think I'm doing okay with my confidence. And I hope that talking about my story, my personal experience has helped you. And, you know, that in future, wherever you are watching this, that if it does come to a warm day when you do just want to be nice and wear a dress and wear a skirt, etc., that, you know, the confidence is there. So it does take time to build up. You just need to feel the fear and do it anyway. And there you go. That's how to increase your confidence in wearing clothes. Thank you for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you in next week's video. Stay tuned to stay confident. Take care.